Hunter mains, do you want to do 461% more damage with your supers? If that's you, then this video's for you. This run's for you as well. Any hunters are still struggling to do a solo psyops because it's the hardest GM of the season, probably. Well, yeah, it probably is. I think it is. If so, if that's you, well, then this run's for you. Because this is going to make South Background incredibly easy. I would say it's really easy. This is my best run of the week, and it's on a hunter. Yep, better than a Titan run. Better than Bolt Charge run. Better than Warlock Prismatic run. This run's actually better than those. Can you believe it? And it is. You know why? Because this build really cooks in this. I'll sprinkle a couple of numbers when there's a bit more downtime in the video. Right now, we're doing the bridge section. So, you will get a super really quick, but don't use it. I know it's really tempting to go and pop super, don't yet. You can delete everything on this. Yes, but just wait. Get rid of your barrier and your unstop, because there's a strat to this on just saving that super for an extra 30 seconds, and you'll go a long way with it. Because right now it's easy, so I don't really need to pop a super anyways. This barrier needs to be taken care of, which I do that. We get our barrier down, the unstop. Once you kill the unstop and the barrier, all the rest of the ads will de-aggro to the platform 2 of the bridge. You'll see it, they all de-aggro. So, yeah, we've got this unstop finish. I'll do a little Ascension Tempest Strike combo here. Procs Ward kicking in for the finisher kill. And then I'm going to use Amplify Buff to run up the map as best as possible. Then you're going to pop a super because Arc Staff can intrinsically stun unstoppable champions. Therefore, you can melt that unstop as that spawn comes in, because the unstop's generally the problem. Not only that, the other problem is the Light Guardian, but my Light Guardian hasn't spawned in quite yet, but that's alright, because we've got Lerman Arc on for our long range engagements, and more importantly, super regen. That's exactly why it's on. You could argue between this and Graviton Lance, and Graviton Lance is a fantastic weapon, but after 30 to 40 meter range, Lerman Arc's better. It's the better void choice. If you're in a small room, I think Graviton Lance is better than Lerman Arc, just on that CQC element because of the multi-kills with the Graviton Lance, but Lerman Arc's better at long range engagements. I think that's common sense, isn't it? It's a bow. Yes, of course it's better than a pulse rifle at long range engagements. It will be. Slightly. Not much, not by much, but slightly. Okay, so I'm dealing with some of the barrier champs and stuff. The light bear is round that corner. Have we got 2 barriers here? Yeah, 2 barriers. That was really good, that freeze. He was frozen forever. So look at the amount of damage I've done. I've actually killed the barriers, the light bearer, before I pop super. This is huge. You know why? Because now I pop super for the Ghost Crush. Then I can go in and use my super for the actual business. Look at that melt on that unstop. Not only that, look at the melt that I'm doing to the rest of the ads. I do get a double damage buff. You see me, I consume the buff, Blister and Dominance left hand side, but it's not it's a bad pickup. Not from me, but just the time on it. Because look, there's no champs alive. So if that orb had dropped sooner, man, it would have been beneficial for Arc Staff. Because then I would be getting the 461% buff that I was said about at the start of the video. I'll break down the numbers in a minute. But this start section, like I say, it's really easy. I've got a Drain Bane, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to use super here. It's beneficial to use a bit of a super here. Although, if you can kill your barrier, yeah, look at this. Boom, look at the stun lock. So yeah, Arc Staff melts barrier champs without the need of barrier rounds. This is absolute true because of all the buffs that I'm going to bring on to the numbers. I'll use a pinned comment as well. Right? And we'll talk a little bit about buffs. I might start doing a couple of videos like that where we talk about buffs and debuffs. You know, I've spammed solo GMs this season, haven't I? I've done tons. Next week we have Sunless Cell, so that's a big week. But other than that, I think I've given a good overall round guides to Conqueror Seal this season. So I'm going to be experimenting with some other types of videos. And I'm going to have a think on how I can do that. Some important things that people need to know. It's not just about solo anymore. It's about, you know, how to just, you know, be optimized in this game, and you might not be aware of it. We've got newer players in the rotation now, players that have got less experiences than myself, or maybe other viewers that watch me. So, you know, there's some things that I take as second nature, and some people are not even aware of it. So I think it's important to make note. So when you get to the final set of barrier and unstop, you can stand here at the back of the map and kill the barrier and unstop, and then just run away, because that's it, done. All these Boomer Knights, yep, they're not needed for CP. Look, so look, checkpoint, crush the ghost. Boom, done. 5.5 minutes in, very good for a hunter. That's non-prismatic, very good. That's S plus for that. How many supers did we get? And how many damn barrier and unstops did we kill there in our super? That was incredible. It was really good. And that wasn't the best rotation as either. My Path of Ambition Sigil Stones didn't drop exactly how I wanted to at the right times. Ideally, you want a Sigil Stone to be popped or consumed just before a super pop, and you'll see that happening in the run. I'll point it out. Okay, so the tribute all, I'll commentate on that first, and then I'll go over the numbers later on in the video, but there'll be a pinned comment about it anyways, just so that you know I'm not lying about a number or something, which I'm not. I've done my research. Okay, so we've got a Hypernova. Focus a Hypernova down, by all means. I've blinded this wizard anyways with the flashbang. And these acolytes, I'm just going to take a few of them out. I could use super right now. I could have used super on that engagement. But because it was so easy to blind the wizard and kill the wizard, by that time I'm done. Didn't need super. Although I could have used it, because you would definitely get it back for the next time you need it. Right. After the first tribute, barrier and unstop pushes, yes. You need to do the stairs strat for 1 to 4 tributes. This is absolutely critical. I'm going to go back to my original tribute strat and follow along so that you understand it. Now, the unstartable, he's testing my patience because he's meant to be pushing and he's not. Watch this. This is a prime example of old days what used to happen in GMs. The priority target wouldn't push. In this scenario, the unstartable is the priority to take out. Watch. Just watch. You'll see how this plays out. Look, I start down with the barrier because I get impatient. Unstop pushes. As soon as I push that barrier, the unstop, all of a sudden he appears. Unstop. A wild champion has appeared. Yeah, he has. He was behind cover for ages, but yeah, this is just shown to you. I could have died there if I had committed to the barrier. Not that I made any mistake at all in the gameplay, but if I had continued my ways of trying to melt the barrier, I would have died to the ogre. Because I'm not planning to super here. There's no need to super these champs. I would rather you much use your super on the wizards. That's what's more important, not the champs. The champs can be easily dealt with. Look, stair strat all day, easy. Okay, I'm going to run with amplified buff, and I will use an ascension if I get weak. But I'm going to use super here. My bad. So I'm going to use a super here, and I'm going to dunk 2 tributes. This will spawn in 1 light bearer, not 2. So the conditions are that you'll get 1 light bearer on 1 dunk, and you'll get the second light bearer on the 4th dunk. I'm on 3 of 12. So I've only spawned in 1 light bearer. So you do 1 tribute, then you do 3, and then you'll do 1 at the end. That will spawn in your light bearer. The light bearer is going to push to the stairs. Watch. Trust the process. Look, here he is. Here he is. He pushes every time because he's on his own. He wants to push. He hasn't got a team made up. If you trust the process, test it yourself if you don't believe me. This works. I've tested it all week. Not tested it, but done it on runs. And every single run, when you do it in this way, yeah. Oh, I get a double buff as it fell off map. Looks like it's somewhere. The double buff has fell. Man. I hate that they fall off the map though, man. But that's fine, look. Look how I've quickly dismantled that light bearer. So that's it. Crush the ghost, procs ward, saves us again. I mean, I wasn't weak, but it allows your health to regen behind the overshield as you do your procs ward finisher. critical for staying alive on finisher kills in GMs and stuff. Always run Proc Ward, always. Okay, so I'm going to not pop super because that will be a waste. Don't do it. Yeah, try and get your wizard killed without use any means necessary. Blinds, flashbangs, slow them with Tinas. Try and get the middle wizard because you want the least amount of free roam on this bit. The hunter's amazing in this, but you've got to play it in a particular way to make it amazing. Yeah, it's not the best at free roaming, and I've said about this. Although it's all right with Amplified and Spark of Haste. Those two buff on each other. I'll talk about that at the boss fight. Why you should use those two things. It helps you pick up speed, you get damage resistance. Okay, so at 4th dunk, you'll get your Shrieker. And you will get a Light Guardian. Did you see his super? He's on right side. Be careful of the Light Bearer. He can kill you from here. So, you know, be careful with the Shrieker. Be paying attention, observe it, and assertive. But you've got a super to burn. This is why it's on. This is why it's so good. This guy just gets melted to the next dimension, watch. You pop Ascension for the Amplified buff. That will give you Limit Break to be buffed. That is critical. Make sure that you use Amplified. You can do it in your super as well, which will also jolt the target, adding more damage. I've still got super luck. So I've got 2 dunks. I want to get a 3rd. So I want to get the most amount of bang for my money, right, with the super there. I've got 3 essences. That gets me to 7. So I need 1 more, and I'm looking, and there's no wizards up. That means I'm doing really good in the run, by the way. That means that I'm melting wizards efficiently. Look, we get a good lucky wizard here. This is good, this, because I can blind him, although I end up killing him anyways. Yeah, so sometimes I'll use Disorienting Blow rather than Temper Strike. It's a dual-wielded melee, and it's very good at what it does. Disorienting Blow stuns unstops, it blinds targets. Really good melee option to use, especially on an Arc Hunter. Okay, when you dunk 8, the Shrieker's opened up for me. I heard that noise. Look at that. Look at what Amplified and Speed Boost have done for me there. It helped me avoid the Shrieker entirely, but be careful if the Shrieker opens up. Listen for that audio cue. Okay, so we get the champ to push now. There's a barrier and unstop, of course, and the Shrieker spawns on the 8th tribute. We get a stun with the flashbang. This increases damage, by the way. If you stun a champ with an ability, whether it be a melee, a grenade, or whatever, that will increase your linear damage because you have not wasted a linear shot to stun the champ. Do you get it? That's why flashbang grenade, disorienting blow, things like that are really beneficial on Arca builds. Because it saves on ammo and you increase your damage because of it. Because you're quicker to get the first shot you do with your linear will be pure damage. It won't be stun damage. That's why it's so good. So if you can ever stun a champ with either Tina's slowing or flashbang rather than your linear, do it. But you don't always have to do it like that. But I'm just saying that you can. If you can control the room, then you can. Okay, Shrieker that I need to melt. You can slow the Shrieker as well with Tinas. I should have done that really. But that's fine. The Shrieker's just about finished. This is where you want to play from the front of the map at Tribute 8. Your next 4 dunks are all going to be about that. I'm going to head glitch this Ogre because he's pushing. That can happen. But yeah, I'm going to get a nice flashbang grenade in mid. It's blinded everything. Allows me to play much more aggressive. I use a Ascension Temper Strike combination to do chip damage. Then I pop super at last second. This enhances the amount of tributes I can definitely get. Because I'm saving on super on a mini scale. Not only that, I've still got it. Look at how long this is lasting. I've dunked 3 tributes and I still have my super. And I only need 1 more. Pop another Ascension for Spark of Haste and Amplified to proc so that you're more tanky when you're running past ads. This is really good. Spark of Haste is a critical one for this. It's really S plus for this. Spark of Haste isn't something you always use, but when it comes in clutch for things, it really does, and it does for Psyops. Any Psyops ones where you've got to pick up spears, Spark of Haste goes on. Look at this. We've got our tribute. I'm just running past the ads. They barely hit me. So good. So easy. Unbelievable. 15 minutes in. Really good. Okay, so now let's talk numbers, because I've said about this. Buffs are not additive in Destiny 2. They are multiplied. So, for example, the Path of Ambition Sigil Stone buff that people are now starting to be aware of, it's took you about 3 weeks, but you're finally aware of it. Well, that's a double damage buff. Yes, it's 100% damage bonus, but it's not just like that, is it? Because that stacks with everything and it multiplies, with my damage total being 461% increased. Not total, that's not even including base. That's 461% increase, providing that these conditions are met. Let me go over it. Okay, 30% limit break damage boost when you are amplified. 25% arc surge goes on because the GM has arc surge. Raiden Flux is a 72.8% buff at ×3 synapse junctions. Yeah, that will net you a 180% increase to damage. That will always happen, by the way. That will always happen, providing you're amplified. However, if you include the Sigil Stone buff, it goes all the way up to a 461% buff total. You're going to be doing massive damage with a Sigil Stone and if you're amplified in basic terms. But most of the time it's only going to be the 180%. But 180% damage buff to Arc Staff means that you will solo one cycle all champs and you will do massive damage to the boss. Just watch. Watch what happens. I get a Sigil Stone. I'm biding my time. I'm killing all the ads just to show this off to you in the video so that you can see the damage. It's going to happen. So look, I use an amplified buff. I've already got my amplified buff. Pick up the Sigil Stone, consume Blister and Dominance. Look at the HP bar. Look at the HP bar. If that boss did not have an immune gate, I could have done half health to him. But the boss doesn't work like that. It's in 3/3. But if there was no HP gate, I can guarantee you I could probably kill this boss in 2 Arc Staffs alone. It's got that much damage in its kit. But the tracking on the wizard's kind of hard. But the payoffs are so strong that it's really just worth it to run this anyways. Even though I'm telling you things like, oh, you know, the tracking on wizards is hard. It always has been. It's a hell of a lot better than Spectral Blades, I know that much. Spectral Blades is terrible. It's still terrible. If you want to use Spectral Blades, you've got to go Star Eater skills. Just putting it out there. No G-Wisdom Vests, get rid of it. Star Eater skill, Spectral Blades, you can use it. Yes, you can do. Is it better than my build? No way at all. This is way better than Spectral Blades. I don't know why anyone would use a Spectral Blades super when you've got this. Hunter Mage. What's wrong with you? Look at this damage. Look at the damage he's doing, and I have exit strategy. You know, like, Prismatic Hunter's brilliant and all, it is. In most cryo roll, I've got it, you know. There's some great Prismatic builds, and there's some great Arc builds, but I don't know why people think that this is off meta. Because I certainly don't, so I don't know why they think it is. How can a super of this caliber be off meta? The only off meta thing about it is that Arc Staff is not available on Prismatic. However, if it was, I can guarantee you I'd be the #1 Arc Staff Prismatic user, definite. It would be absolutely incredible to get Arc Staff, Raiden Flux on Prismatic. I think it would supersede a couple of things that's on Prismatic right now. Apart from maybe Gifted Conviction and Inmost Cryo, alright, maybe those 2 items would be a bit better than what I'm suggesting. But only a little bit. The upshot is the massive amounts of damage that you can do. Now I'm fighting on left hand side, and I recommend that you do on a hunter because bolt charges are less likely to proc. On a Titan, you saw me fight from the back of the map. That's no good on this. You want to push up on the left. Because you can control the room a little bit better when you're standing on left, to be honest. And if you want to super the boss's ease of access to go and super him. That's exactly what it is, isn't it? So yeah, I'm not going to pop super. It might be tempting. Don't do it. You're up against barriers and unstops. This is the only time the super failed me, and it's probably not the super's fault. It's probably mine. Let's analyse the footage and let's see. This is my first time seeing it back. So, champs spawn in. I'm going to try and round them up. In order to round them up, you stand on left-hand side. They get curious, or they should do. So I'm looking at barriers pushed. Unstop should be as well, but he's actually way further back than I thought. I pop an Ascension, and I'm going to try and kill the barrier. The barrier shields. Yeah, so it fails me. But it doesn't really fail me that much because I still kill a champ for the credit. Not ideal. I wanted to kill the barrier and unstop in one super, which is entirely possible because you've saw it in the past on this damn run. It's just that the barrier shielded. He outplayed me, basically, which was a good outplay by the barrier. But that doesn't matter too much because the unstop is the threat, not the barrier too much. What is more of a threat is the damn Boomerites. So when you're trying to commit to the barrier, if the Boomerites and the Acolytes are nading you, you've got to pay attention to that. You haven't got a barricade, no healing rift, so you've got to pay attention to that health more. Way more. I'm going to do the jump chill clip strat. Because he's sort of out of my vision a little bit, the barrier, so I'm having to jump shot. Then I'm just going to melt him with linear. That was really justified to melt him down with linear, because the longer that goes on, the more likely that you're going to get naded by acolytes, and the boss may hit you with the arc attack. That can result in a death for you rather quickly. So you want to limit the amount of time that you stand here. You want to limit it. Now I've got Ivanov. I want to set him off. I don't want to kill him, just set him off. No point. Just let him set off. I don't want to commit to that strat anyways on left-hand side too much. I like this place right here. But yeah, don't stand here for too long. Okay, so now for the spears. So for the spears, I'm going to pop an Ascension. Then I'm going to pick up my spear. This knight. Don't be frightened to use the spear for ad clear. Try not to overcommit to spear damage on the boss. You don't really need to. So with the Hunter, the Titan and Warlock has a better jump with the spear than a Hunter. And the Hunter's jump is terrible with the spear. I don't know why this is. Does anybody know why? And I'm not talking rubbish to you because I've played Titan and Warlock with the spear. The jump height is much more increased. Look. There's no jump height. I'm speeding up the footage now for editing purposes. There's no jump height with the Hunter on the spear. You're meant to get increased jump height with spear. You're not getting it. There's something funky on. That makes it quite difficult to get back to Cheese Spot at the back of the map. So, I didn't really go there much. Look at that jump height. Did you see it? Timestamp 24 minutes and 20 seconds. Go and watch it back and you'll see it. Jump height's not proccing properly. Makes the spears much more difficult on a Hunter because of this alone. However, if I use Inmost Light and Cryo, you'll get Woven Mail when you use the spear, but that's a bugged interaction and probably not meant to be happening. But that is something, and getting Woven Mail while you have the spear is very powerful. So any Prismatic Hunters this week, if you are really wanting to do a Prismatic on this, then do the Inmost Cryo because you get Woven Mail when you teleport with the Relic. Very good. Golden rules apply. Amplified buff, run for the Relic. Only go for the Relic after the boss is supered. The Stormcaller super that kills everybody. Yeah, you need to be careful with that. I've got a double damage buff. Bad timing. That's a bad timing, that. I should have... Although what you need to understand is with the double damage Sigil Stone buffs, yeah, they despawn, and I don't know what the despawn timer is, but I have seen one a few days ago, and it despawns after about 30 seconds. I haven't tested it. I'm just giving you an educated guess. It's around about that. 30 to 40 seconds. They despawn and you lose them, so I just picked it up anyways. You'll end up getting another one at some point. So, yeah, and you get a lot of them. Like I said in my previous run, I believe there's some sort of kill count credit for taking Sigil Stones, similar to Prime Engrams. If people know, I know it's 2025, no one cares about Prime Engrams, but look, Prime Engrams have a secret kill count system that's not displayed anywhere in the game. If you know the Prime Engram system, then you will probably agree with me that the taken Sigil Stones are probably under the same rules as Prime Engram counts. I.e., there's a secret kill count credit for when you kill so many ads. After a certain elapsed time, you get the Sigil Stone. I have got Sigil Stones, about 10 of them per run, for the last 4 weeks on all my solo GMs. Look at the damage we're doing here. Look at the combo. Look at the light, heavy. You need to aim your camera up. The tracking's hard. To make the tracking better, aim your camera up. This will impact the direction of your heavy attack, spam attack. I'm not just saying it to you. I know because I've seen it. I've got a lot of experience on this subclass. So don't aim your camera down fighting wizards. You need to aim it up. That same rule, by the way, might apply to Spectral Blades when you're using Spectral Blades on a wizard type enemy. Might be the same thing. I haven't used Spec Blades in a while, but I have done a few solo GMs with Spec Blades in the past. And the conclusion that I come to was, no, you need Star Eater skills to make this work. You need an orb generation build with Spectral Blades. Make it work. Buff its damage. G-Wisdom Vest isn't doing it. It's not doing it, people. It really isn't. Why would you use an inferior exotic? G-Wisdom needs a buff. It still needs a buff now. It's not good enough. It does have a unique interaction with Heart Shadow, but that's just a sword, dude. That's all that is. You know, you need to think about the whole health of the subclass, not just the damn Heart Shadow. Yeah, it might be alright with that. Yeah, but how many people are going to rock Heart Shadow in a GM? Off the hunter mains that there is in GMs? Damn, it's going to be a handful of them. That's it. So yeah, Heart Shadow needs another buff. Needs to be buffed. It should be the best Spectral Blades exotic usable. But it's not. Star Eater Scales is. Because damage is damage. Right? And damage is king. More damage, more safe. Generally speaking. In and out, in and out. It's like right now, I'm doing more damage with the spear because the spear is buffed by Arc Surge, which means this runs safer. Like I've been saying all week, this is your best week to do Psyops Battleground Moon. If you talk to me next week and say, I need to do Psyops Battleground Moon, and it's not Arc Surge, I really am going to refer you to this video and say, why didn't you do it last week? You've missed out. Arc Surge buffs the spear. Makes it so much easier. And it does make it a lot easier. It really does, because you don't have to overcommit. Because you're doing 21k per spear, and it's roughly the same. It's about 20k for everybody. Even if you like 20, 30, I think it's about 20k, because the spear doesn't scale that much more on power. It does scale with power, but not that much, not what like you would think. The 25% Arc Surge buff, though, is a massive multiplier to the spear. You're chunking. Speedrunners will love it this week because they can chunk their aspects down faster, and they will love that. This is the time to play Psyops. I know it's not the most popular GM, but this is your time to play it. It's the funnest iteration you're going to have of it. Double aspect, you saw the strat. We used the right hand side strat. I've been using it all week. It worked like a charm. You have got to pay more attention though, because Hunter has not got Devour on tap. It's not got a Healing Rift on tap. It's not got any of that stuff. So, you know, you've got to really pay attention. If you get naded too heavily, think about backing up. Yeah, if you get hit by one nade and your shields are broken, that's a moment-to-moment decision you've got to make. Are you willing to risk 30 minutes worth of gameplay just for your pride spear damage? Because you have a bit of pride about spears trying to melt aspects down quick. You've got to ask yourself that question. Have you got, you know, a pride problem with spears where, oh, I must stand my ground. But if an acolyte gets you one shot, you're 3 seconds away from dying maybe. unless your movement's bob on and you know what you're doing and you know you need to keep jumping up and down, you know, you've got to calculate that. You can just stand at the back of the map, but you've got to be careful with the spear because it's hard on the hunter because you've not got that height boost as much as a warlock or titan. I could do a video comparing it, but I'm not gonna. I don't need to. I've already told you it. I've seen the visual differences, and there is a visual difference. There's a gameplay difference as well, because I was playing it today. I was like, this is my first day playing Hunter on Psyops, so I immediately noticed it, and I would, wouldn't I? Because obviously I've been playing it. So I was like, oh, yeah, there is a difference here. Hang on a sec. What's going on with this? So look at my ammo account. I can now take massive benefit of that. I mean, I've used my heavy, maybe not as much as I should have done. Maybe because the super's done a lot for me. See, that's the thing you see with this build. It's efficient for ammo. Because of the massive damage bonus you get with Raiden Flux, you can do your entire damage of a third HP to this boss just with one super. That saves on so much ammo for the run. That means you can use your ammo on adds, knights, more champ damage, more ogre damage. Yeah, I can go and kill this boss right now, but I'm just confirming it, just in case there's any weird things that go on. But yeah, I'm literally done at this point because I've got a super. I know that I can do at least a third HP, yeah, in the right circumstances. I'm trying to see if I get an orb. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm farming, taking Sigil Stone. Like I told you, you can indirectly sort of strat for them when you're coming from encounter to encounter. Look, I know I haven't had a stake on Sigil Stone. Right, there we go, we get one. Amplified buff goes in, consume that, pop super, boom. I didn't even need that much damage, but yeah, it melts the actual boss. So yeah, Hunter mains, I highly recommend this build for this. This is by no means off meta. This makes Psyops really easy. Really easy. It's been my best run of the week for Psyops. That's a lot to say about that, especially when we've got ball charge titans knocking around. But yeah, that was really good for that. So yeah, that's Hunter mains done for your video. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.